Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Poncho here. Welcome to episode 46 of Cookups and Convos, part 2, the interview with the bro, SteelyOne. Squad in the building. How do you feel about that freestyle you just kicked?
Oh, it was dope.
Yeah?
It's kind of... what's that shit that what Obama did? It's what I do. Yo, that's my shit. I love seeing that fucking that meme. It's what I do. Yo, I'm like, he did us just made a 3-pointer, walked out. He said he put his mask down. It's what I do. Yeah, forever my favorite president. I don't give a fuck what they
Big facts. There's never gonna be another Obama.
That's my man.
Yeah, facts. So I'm very big on Comeup Stories. I think it's interesting to see where artists come from and how they get to where they are now. So could you tell the full Comeup story before he was SteelyOne 914, before the 914 is in his name, before everything?
So all right. So we always win the rap. Me and my peoples. We all everyone kind of rapped by themselves, but when it came to like Morris, everyone on Morris, Murder Morris, that's a block where a lot of my people are from.
In New Row?
In New Rochelle.
Okay.
And we started rapping on there, and we needed to find a studio. And we went to find a studio. There was one kid named Los. He used to like have people come to his house and like rap and shit like that. And like he had like his own like in-house studio. And I remember he was like, "Yo, man, only the elite of the elite could come and you know what I'm saying, rap at our studio." You know what I'm saying? So he basically was like trying to tell like me and Nove was an elite, like you can't come.
You took it personal?
Yeah, we took it personal. but we took it personal because it's not that niggas wasn't nice. Like we was like, more niggas ain't nice, but it was just to the point where I guess like he just had mad people coming to his crib, and at the end of the day, like it was his house. So like,
yeah, facts.
So I remember that shit was yesterday. And Los was my nigga. Like shout out to Los, DJ, No Sleep. But I was like, fuck that, nigga. Like I'm about to do my own shit. So me and No was like, yo, what we gonna do? I went to fucking Love Music, bought 2 turntables, and literally, nigga, a DAT machine, a mic, and created my first studio in the basement.
There you go.
And then niggas was just going in from there. But it was bad. That was bad because that's when, like, yo, you didn't have no punch in, nigga. You had to know your verse.
The whole shit.
And you had to jump in and out that bitch before, like, and also, me and Nova some big ass niggas in the room. It's like butt so small, so it's like, all right, nigga, you ready? I'm about to finish. And he would jump in and then, but yeah, that was niggas.
That's OD.
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, that was it. And then from there, we went to WCC and started rapping. And we was in the WCC radio station. We turned that shit to a studio.
That's fine.
Niggas was in there till like fucking 4 a.m. recording. In there, nigga, to the point where we knew the security staff. Nigga, like we wasn't, it was horrible, but we was going in.
That's fine.
And then just from there, just kept going, man. Doing all the to the point of like all local shows, hitting the cities, doing the EO dubs, doing SOBs, doing the Pyramid, just doing shit, just always trying to find a way, man.
Facts.
Just trying to find a way to get on.
Even in like college, when you was just rapping, like did you know this is what you wanted to do with your life?
Definitely, it was something I knew I wanted to do, but I didn't know how far or how serious I could take it. And I also didn't realize I just kept at it, and I didn't know that it meant something when I started to realize that other people fucked with it. Like other people fucked with what I was doing. And like that was the thing that you really that was like what kept people going, to just realize that like, yo, people were able to relate and feel where you were coming from. And just from that, just to be able to create and make something where people can actually understand and digest what I'm going through and digest what life is to me. That's what kept me, like, inspired me to keep going.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I imagine that still does that to this day.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of the day, man, every artist, every not to quote Cole, but every poet just wants to be loved, and it's true.
Facts.
Because we weren't made to be like isolated or by ourselves. We were made to create and to like just think about like before we made money from this shit, people would create and make things just because It was in them to create it. It wasn't like they didn't need the certain type of validation of like
there's no validation, there's no bag. It's just the intrinsic feeling.
Yeah, of just making it. Like, and like imagine like think about it, like niggas used to make shit and be like, yo, I made this, and then 2 days later, like, yo, because you made that inspired me to make this. Like I'm like, and we just kept making shit. But then once the business and the money and all that other shit got into it, motherfuckers just started capping and hating and shit. He was doing dumb shit, like, boy, yeah. That's a fact.
That's crazy. Nah,
like,
that's real. That's real. I was talking to who was it? Who just said this? Who just said it? I interviewed the Trippy Twins. Shout out Trippy Twins from Peekskill, and they were like, "Yeah, there's so many artists that get in this shit until like they learn the business, and then they fucking hate it."
It's hard. The business is only whack when it comes to the point. It feels like the people that are not talented, like people that are not creators, always are in the way of the creators. Like, that's what it is. Like, it's to the point where the people that are not talented are always trying to convince to the people that are talented or the people that are the creators that they need them so much. And then you have to do things this way. And you have to do like... And right now, music is in a beautiful place for the artist where you can own and create and have access to a lot more of your stuff. So that's what's a blessing. But it just comes to the point where... If it was just about the only people that really care about the music is the artists and the fans. Everyone else between that, like the artists, the fans, of course, if you're a creator, period. So that goes from videographers to producers to artists to any one of those, anyone in the realm, any realm. So only people that care about are creators and the fans. Anyone between that, sometimes you got to question and look what the fuck their motive is. Like, what are you here for? Because it just sometimes it doesn't make sense. And it's just always just so much people trying to like just pull like money from your blood, sweat, and tears and your dreams. Like that shit is just like, that shit's whack. And it just like, that's why you have to understand and know your demographic, know your fans, know who you're fucking with, and realize that sometimes don't focus on so much trying to get all the people you don't know. Focus on the people that you already have. Yeah, because those who's gonna that's gonna champion you and keep you up. You feel me?
That's a fact. Big gem.
Yeah, for real.
Hell yeah. So there's a couple things about you. I've been following you for a while, and ever since then, like, there's been a couple of things about you that stood out to me. One, I view you as someone that presents themselves very well.
Oh, appreciate it.
As in, like, through your visuals, through the things you do. Did you always have that in you, that you were always able to just like present yourself well? Because
Hell no.
Really?
Hell no. I think I present myself well because I accept myself, and I finally accepted myself.
You said because you accept yourself?
I accept myself. Yeah,
that's fine.
I finally accepted myself and accepted myself. I think what helped me accept myself was my team, like just my peoples, and just knowing that I didn't have to do anything or be anything extra for me to just be accepted. And also, like, my validation was just me being me. And, like, my niggas accepting me for me. And, like, I think, once I was able to digest that and accept that, everything else was... Because I just kind of feel like... Like, bro, we're fucking human. So any emotion or feeling that I've had, I'm pretty sure there's a good chance you've had it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, any emotion, like, or anything I've gone through, I'm pretty sure maybe you went through it too. So why the fuck should it be so hard for us to be us? like why? Like, I don't understand why that's that concept that we fucking put in our head. Like, yo, I don't know if they're gonna feel me. Like, nigga, what the fuck? Like, if there's a good chance if I went through it, you went through it. And there's certain things, even if there's certain things that you went through that I didn't go through, there's still to the point where the human being factor, like just being a human being, where like you should be able to just digest these emotions where we can relate or find some type of common ground.
That's a fact.
At a point,
That's crazy. When did you realize that? Or
when I just started to believe, back in the days, I didn't talk a lot. Like, I just really...
You was quiet?
I was very quiet.
I can't see that.
Yeah, but I was wild. I was wild, quiet. I didn't really talk a lot. Everybody thought I was mean and shit. Everybody thought I wanted to fight everybody. I was just a quiet nigga that was hungry, nigga. Like, I didn't really care about nothing like that. But in being quiet, you start to realize that That was hilarious.
I said fuck it again.
I was fucking hilarious. Yo, everyone that doesn't know, Gianni dropped some shit and he got fucking spooked out. What's that anyway? What's that?
Holy shit. Shout out Gianni.
Yeah, shout out to the homie G. Nah, like I just like once I just started to just digest myself and understand that like nigga like we're human. Yeah.
Facts.
That's it.
That's major.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Another thing that stands out to you, I mean, it's a pretty big one. I have a couple questions for you about this. So, you're lit overseas.
Yeah, I'm okay overseas.
You're
I've been
lit
around
overseas.
I've been around artists.
Yeah,
That's
lit overseas.
lit overseas. Like nigga, like I'm talking about like we do like 6 shows and we do 6 shows and I'm like, yo man, that's dope. We brought this shit. And they're like, yo, y'all killed it. And I'm like, so when y'all go on? He's like, oh no, we go on the big stage. And I'm like, this is a big stage. There's like 5,000 people. They're like, nah, we go to the big stage. It's like, then the big stage goes to the big show and it's like 25,000 people. And I'm like, yeah, we all right. We ain't lit, but we getting there. We got love. We definitely got love.
How did that even happen? Like, I feel like, yeah.
The first, what's the name? Shout out to the homie Dewagi. Shout out to my homie Andy Rowe. So I was just a dude, bro. Like I was doing my music. I was always grinding. And I was just trying to find a way, trying to find the love, just trying to get on, trying to do whatever I can.
Facts.
My man Andy Rowe used to live out there, and my man Matt introduced me to Andy Rowe.
He lived in Poland?
No, he lived in Taiwan. Before I went to Poland.
Okay.
So before I went to Poland, I toured in Taiwan. I toured in Taiwan for 5 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So like I toured in Taiwan for 5 years heavy. My man Matt, my best friend Matt, what's his name? Introduced me to Andy Rowe. Andy Rowe introduced me to Dewagi. Dewagi wanted to get some music done, and he wanted some help. And like Dewagi's an ill lyricist, but he raps in Mandarin, and he needed
Okay.
And so he's in Asia, Taiwan. So he rapped in Mandarin, but he wanted to do something in English, and he wanted to do a record, and he needed like someone to help him with it. So I'm like, yeah, what's up? I'm gonna fuck, let's do it. So I did it. I wrote some shit for him, and I penned some shit for him. That then come to find out, the song that I penned for him is a song he did with Nas. So when he did the song with Nas, that shit blew up. And then meanwhile, I'm like just building with niggas out there and sending my music. They started rocking my music. My music wound up being on like their little top 100 hip hop list.
Yeah.
My shit was on there for like 3 months straight for number 3 and number 2.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so once that shit was, they flew me out there.
What year was that?
That was 2013.
It's a minute ago.
2013, 2014. Yes. Yep, because it was 2013 because I didn't meet Cool Kid yet.
Yeah.
I met Cool Kid in 2015. So yeah. So I remember I already had 2 tours in already before.
Was that a strategic play, or did that just kind of you like making plays overseas?
It was strategic because I was just trying to get in where I could fit in. At this point, I knew that he had the bag behind him. I also knew that he what's the name? Like he had more connections. And yeah, I'll play my role. I'll write some shit and just chill back. And I was just trying to connect. And then once they flew me out there and I started doing my shows, first I was opening up for Dewagi. Then after opening for Dewagi, I started doing my own shows. And then people started fucking with me. And then like, bro, like literally, I was going out there back and forth for like 5 years. Just going like touring the stages, and stages kept getting bigger and bigger. And I just kept dealing with the same promoters and shit like that. So it was just clicking. And then one of my last 2 shows, I brought the Cool Kid out there just because, like, it was at a point where Cool Kid, I don't know if we want to go on to that, but Cool Kid, I met through my man, what's his name? Like my bro Nice. That's that's Cool Kid's uncle, and like Cool Kid is like, Nice is one of my like closest friends, also one of my biggest inspirations musically because Nice was just a fucking talented kid.
He's a dope singer.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Cool Kid.
Yeah, Cool Kid is a dope singer. But Nice was his uncle. And Nicest introduced me to Cool Kid. Make a long story short, Cool Kid just always had this hunger. Like he always had this hunger. He always was ready to work. He was always grinding. I call Cool Kid 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. Be like, yo, I gotta go to the studio. He's like, I'll meet you there. And like he's like, yeah, he's always rare. On it. And from there, that's when I pulled Cool Kid with us to go to Taiwan for like. That's when we did. That was his first tour.
Because he just had that hustle in him.
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck, and the work ethic is what brought me to him, and he was also just super talented.
What?
Talented kid, just super talented.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy how that happened. Like I feel like a lot of artists don't even see that as like a possible path, building overseas, things like that.
I just at this point, once I started to do that and open up my eyes, it let me understand my value and worth. And let me understand also, it also let me understand how far our mindset was from like my town and just just kind of to the point where
what do you mean?
Because we just we don't understand our value as African Americans, and also just as our town, but just also just as African Americans, we don't understand our value. We see the same things, we're surrounded by the same things, and because we're surrounded by the same things and we don't necessarily get to venture out and see the world, we don't know what the world really has to offer. And we don't know.
We just had that conversation a few hours ago.
Yeah.
The crab in a barrel mindset.
Very much so. And like that, once I started to branch out, like going overseas helped me get love at home.
Word.
How does that work?
Yeah, it's so backward. I can see how it. I mean, I know how it happens, but
so like
it's
think
so
about
backwards,
that.
though.
So just honestly think about that. Like think about the crab in the barrel theory, right?
Yeah.
Think about the crab in the barrel theory, because what I've learned is I always said this. I actually said this analogy to G. There was a study where they put a gerbil and they put a crab, and they're in a barrel of crabs, and they put the gerbil and the crab in the position to get out, right? Okay. They put a plastic screen so all the other crabs can't get to it, right? And they have a gerbil right here, and then they had a crab, and then they had another screen so the crab couldn't get to the gerbil and the gerbil couldn't get it. But all these screens are clear, so you see the crab in the barrel going for one of them. Which one did you think the crab went to?
The crab, probably.
It went for the other crab because it understood that you're supposed to be here. I don't even know what the fuck you are. I'm looking at a gerbil. I don't even know what the fuck a gerbil is, but I know you're a crab. You're supposed to be here. And what that shit taught me is, it taught me that I had to recreate myself, and also taught me that I understood that when it came to the point of me going out and seeing how they viewed us and seeing how they viewed our culture and seeing how they viewed our music and what we did, it gave me so much more value to understand how valuable is the shit we do, and like how big the things we do. And that mindset, when I came back, I started to realize and see how much like we're so like, we're such a gifted group of people, but we know everything but value nothing. And that shit leaves us in such a fucking rut in so many ways. My fault, man. I didn't jump to like 30 different things. But yeah, go ahead. My fault. But it just, it's real. My bad.
No, you good. You good.
Yeah.
What's it called? The other question I had about just being overseas, is that something that like you would encourage other artists to do?
Very much so. Yeah. I would encourage every fucking artist to get the fuck out of there and go do that. And also
not
find
even LA, like overseas.
I would encourage them to, first of all, I would encourage them to leave their circumference period. I would leave you. You can't grow in a comfortable place.
Facts.
It's impossible to grow.
Facts.
So you're not going to grow. So you need to leave and find these different places so you can necessarily, and also get input that is not necessarily from the people that grew up with you. Yeah. Get an input from different people. Get an input outside of that so you can really understand that, like, my shit is dope because my shit is dope, not just because my man think my shit is dope. Just really put your shit to test and take losses too. Like take the losses, and there are going to be times where people don't feel your shit or fuck with it, but learn from it. Like, it's not a loss if you learn from it. So it's like, yeah, man. Like, I think I would encourage all artists to do that. I would especially encourage artists from the 9 to do that. Like, you have to get out of your mindset, like this local mindset.
Yeah,
is nothing wrong with repping your town, but another way to rep it is necessarily let other people look at your town from people from places that are not from there. Like, go out, bring that, like bring honor and respect to your city. Every time you somewhere, people ask where you from. Say that shit. Like, it's impossible to go anywhere in the fucking world and not hear a nigga from Brooklyn. Like, everyone's fucking. You're gonna find a Brooklyn nigga no matter what. You're gonna find a nigga from Harlem. You're not like. You're gonna find some like these different places you go. You hear that, and it brings respect to these areas.
That's
I think that local mindset we gotta get the fuck out of, man. It gets us stuck.
That's major. I bet. I gotta reset the cameras. The cameras turn off every half hour. Little camera break. I was just asking you like how you learned this mindset, or how you developed this mindset of like putting fans first and
just because like knowing that they don't have to do that. Like they don't have to do that. And like I was saying before, like just like when you leave your city and find, you know what I'm saying, like find like actual like organic and people that really fuck with your music and fuck with you, and you come back and realize, like, and then your city starts to show you love, or people start to show you love because they start to see you in a different light. You start to realize, like, yo, I always been this, but they couldn't see that because it was just like, maybe it's the value you didn't really see in yourself yet, or you didn't know, or the value they couldn't find in you yet. And it's like, that's the shit that will keep you afloat, bro. Like once you find fans that come out and spend their hard-earned money and really fuck with you. And understand this, I'm still at the tip of the iceberg, or like iceberg. Like I'm not even like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still growing, I'm still independent, I'm still going hard to create a better fan base. But once you find that and get that, it's big. Like it's crazy. I was just talking to my man Akil, like his whole, that's another dude, Akil Ali from Mount Vernon, amazing artist, going hard and just keeps on working, man. And like he was another dude that like he started to just start moving out of his comfort zone and started just really focus on what he was doing and really being outside, connecting with people. And he's another dude like in his project that he just dropped, his Dirty Spirits. He had this record when he was just talking about like how he wanted his city to love him, and I related to it, and I think everyone can relate to it. And then just like the point of what I was just saying, you want to be accepted and validated from your town and your city because what you're talking about, what you're repping, what you're describing is from the city that raised you, what gave you what you are. Facts. And when they're not able to digest or see it, it hurts in a way because it's like, nigga, I'm repping for us. But they can't rep for you or see you because they can't see the value in you yet. And it sucks that sometimes we got to go further away for people to give us that value, and then for them to be like, oh shit, you are dope. Oh shit, you are nice. And it's just like, and like I said, I really feel besides it just being on some local artist shit, it's also on some just African-American, black, just us to the point of us not being able to give our roses or give our flowers. And then sometimes motherfuckers want their roses and flowers and didn't even fucking put the groundwork in yet. Like didn't even plant a seed yet, and niggas want their shit. He's got a fire shit? What is that?
What the oh, nah, it was the GoPro, fuck.
I can't jump out no windows, man. It's over.
Yeah, that's
but yeah, man.
You think you experienced like fake love too?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably, you experience fake love so much to the point where it's like, it's second nature. Like you just like,
yeah.
That just happens. Like, yeah, I don't like, tell you the truth, fake love to me, it just, you know what I'm saying? Like
it is what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me because it's still a form of love, believe it or not. For you to sit here and formulate some type of, you know what I'm saying, fake emotion or artificial emotion to give me and take that time out to do that, you gotta have some type of infatuation with me, my nigga, to do that. If you wanna do that, go ahead, bro. Like, just, what did you get out of it? Because it did nothing to me. Like, the fuck you mean? Like, that did nothing to me. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. If you wanna enjoy yourself, I don't give a fuck. That's on you, bro.
Yeah. Wow. Shit. This interview's already been kind of long. So I'm just going to pull out the best two questions in here and ask those. I'm not going to ask everything that I had for you. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I can't believe I didn't talk about this earlier. The fucking album.
Oh yeah.
Shit, my
that'd be
God.
Nice.
Yeah. He said that'd be nice.
No, I'm fucking with you.
Well, I mean, I could talk all day about like how fucking dope it is, Ryde.
I appreciate
check
it.
that
love.
shit out. But there's a couple things about it that stood out to me. just out of curiosity, why'd you make it clean?
Like, what do you mean?
Like on Spotify, it's clean.
Well, no, there's 2 versions. It's just the clean version came out later. So that's why it's probably coming up to you right now. The clean version. So there's 2 versions. But
really?
I put the clean version out recently. So
Really?
I just put the clean out version out like
That might be
maybe
why.
3 weeks ago, a month ago.
Yeah.
So that's probably why
Did you do that for like radio playing and shit like that?
Yeah, and also I just realized how much necessarily records can actually, like, a lot of people that like my music and shit like that has been playing it in like stores and playing it in different playlists. So that's why I started to do that. But yeah, there's 2 versions.
Yeah.
Almost the name.
Okay. Listening to that album, it's like I feel like it's so much more than an album. Like it almost felt like I was reading a book. Or like watching a movie or something like that through the skits, through the production, through everything. Is that how you intended it?
I wanted it to be what's the name? So literally, I wanted it to necessarily. I wrote a script for it. I wrote a script for it. And
you wrote out all the skits too?
The skits, me and my man Manny actually, and Cool Kid. And I guess what it was is like the reason why it's called a traveling love story is because it's actually like. Every song is named after a highway, and every song is very necessary.
Really?
Mostly, every song, if you listen to, well, not every song, most of the songs are named after highways. So if you go, literally, the first song is West Side Highway. Second one is 405 Wilshire. Third one, Miami, Port of Miami. Like, they're all places, and different places that I've been in my life, from touring and just on the point of grinding and just doing what I was doing. And
that's dope.
That's what I wanted, and I wanted to.
Fire.
I never I feel like I remember when I came out with White Linen, a lot of females like, I love your music, but you don't have like a lot of girl songs. Like, why don't you make a lot of like songs about females? So like, believe it or not, Ryde, a traveling love story, is all about like females. It's about situations different situations.
That was one of the other questions I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
like it's really all about like love and shit.
Yeah, it was just different about different situations and different females that impacted me and helped me be a better man, help me be a better father, help me just also just a point of just like, I these are things that like I didn't have a platform to really display it on, so I wanted to create something for that, and so and I also wanted each sound to be impacted by the different places I was at. Because
Miami sounds like some Miami shit.
Yeah. Port of Miami is like one of my favorite shit. That, Love Jones and Steagles. But South by is actually my favorite one.
Word.
But yeah.
That's a vibe. That's crazy. I'm not super familiar with your music before this album, but did it stay with the same theme, talking about like women and love, shit like that?
No, White Linen was so much more personal about my life and just different things.
Why'd you want to take this project this direction?
Just show diversity, show like my writing, like just express different things, and also just like I'm a sponge. Yeah. So whatever I'm around musically and shit like that, I absorb it, and just like there was just a bunch of these different sounds and different things that I didn't really get to display. And I also I always want to grow as an artist. So I don't like people putting me in a box. Like, I always want to grow. I always want to try to capture a different thing, and I always want to feel like a big thing to me is like I don't ever want to not be able to fit in the space. Like, I remember being at certain restaurants and I'd be like it'll be a nice restaurant and they're playing like they have their playlist, and I'm like, do I have a song for this? Do I have a song for this room, for this place? Like, reading the room.
You think like that?
Yeah, because it's just like, music is expression. And it's just like, I want to be able to express myself in every, but I also want to be able to express myself and make people accept me, or even give them a perspective where like, I look at him and I feel like I can't relate to him, but I hear him and I feel like I can relate to him. Because I think like there's a lot of records that come out of me where like people be like, yeah, I didn't think Steele could do that, or go that direction. I always want to do that. Like, I want like God forbid the day I'm not here, you know what I'm saying, knock on wood and all that. Like, I want to be left with to the point where there's so many different like sides of me. I want people to understand my music and be able to just take it for what it is. And,
how do you feel about the people that say like you should just do one thing, focus on one thing?
Most of the people that can't digest growth and creativity. Nothing. We don't do nothing. We don't do anything that's just one thing. Yo, bro, you produce, cameras, and you play piano. Like, what the fuck? That's not, like, it's just, like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, just because they can't digest it, like, we shouldn't celebrate being mediocre or like watering down our talents, our goals, our gifts. Like, we should never celebrate that. It should, like, you wasn't made for that. In all honesty, it does all fall into one category. It's just creating. From music to fashion to movies. Like, no one should ever do that. This shit is like, the reason why I love creating, because that shit has no fucking limit to it.
That's a fact.
You feel me? Like, it's such a God-given thing.
The only ceiling's the one that you put.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's real. Shit. All right, I'm going to ask you one more question. Let me see. What's the spiciest question I have here? Oh, this is, all right, this is, okay. This is something that I've actually, like, I've thought for a while, like, ever since I've been following you for, I don't know, maybe like a year, give or take. And, like, I've always wondered this, because you're a super open person. And is there any benefits or is there any backlash from being, like, as open, especially with your personal life as you are?
I'm not as personal when it comes to certain things. Like, I stopped sharing my, like, daughter as much on my what's the name, because that's
I saw your daughter's grades though.
Yeah, I did share that because I'm super proud of her, and she's my heart. I'm a little bit vulnerable with that, and I don't play with that. Like, that's something I don't really play with. Not that, like, people control me and get me, what's the name, but if, like, people saying things to me or trying to fuck with me about it, it doesn't bother me. But if someone that, like, necessarily got to her, just like that, yeah, all bets are off. I don't play that. So, like, that's not where I'm on. But other than that,
even, like, Nov Day is pretty personal, and, like, you posted about your pops too.
Yeah, Nov, I ain't gonna front. Nov Day, I kind of just needed people to get me through it. And I needed, like, I'm still very, that's just an open wound that I just have to walk with. And the situation with my pops, I haven't digested it yet. It's just,
it was about 2 months ago.
Yeah. And then just, like, it's like, it's life. Like, I can't fake that. Like, there's just, like, what's the sense of doing it? Like, the things I write about, the things I talk about are my life. Like, I can't fake none of that. From to the point of things with my mom, things about Harmony, things about me, things about No, everything, things about niggas, like, on some street shit. Like, I write it from my perspective that I see it. I write it from my situations I've been in. So I can't fake it. Like, I just kind of got to have time to go through it.
That's crazy. You think being public about, like, Nov Day, that really helps you get through it?
It helped me get through it because he was, like, one of the richest men I knew when it comes to people. And I feel like
what do you mean?
He really was a rich dude when it came to people. He impacted so many people.
Really?
Nov brought enemies together. Like, niggas that don't like each other at all, but just had so much love for him. I remember when he passed, a homeless dude that he used to fucking feed all the time, like he was, like, heartbroken to find out he passed. Like, it was just, Nov
That's crazy.
was a big thing to all of us. And, like, believe it or not, a lot of people helped me get through it by the love that they showed him. And just knowing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people that I didn't know hollered at me, like, yo, you ever need anything or something like that. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Just to the point of, like, his daughter is an amazing fucking person. His mom, his aunts, they're all just amazing people. And him, you know what I'm saying? Like, he left a bunch of dudes that loved the shit out of him. And, yeah, son, like, I can't hide this hole. Like, I can't hide this hole in me. I can't hide this. It is who I am. And you just got to kind of, like, live life and digest it and walk with it. I bear it. You know what I'm saying? But it's life.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's crazy. Shit, with that being said, this has been episode 46 of Cookups and Convos, the interview with the big homie, SteelyOne. Stizzy. Could you tell the people where to find you on social media?
Yo, you can find me at SteelyOne914, everything. Words of no, you can find me at your mama's household. No, I'm fucking with you.
Yes, sir.
You can find me, yeah, man. I'm just out here, man. Shout out to Cool Kids. Shout out to Whole Stainless Global. Shout out to Soleil. Shout out to Cell. Shout out to Double M Trouble Men. Shout out to the whole nine. Nah, I'm just saying it because I fucks with niggas and I got love for niggas, man. Just keep doing your numbers, man. Yeah.
That's fine. We out here.
Bang.
Boom. So if you have any opinions on any of the questions asked, I'd love to read about them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Again, please subscribe. Really helps more than you may imagine.
Yeah, nigga, like and subscribe. Poncho shit, nigga. Fuck is wrong with y'all niggas, man?
Facts. We out here.
One.
Appreciate you, bro. Good shit.